Hello and welcome to episode 44 of IOnTheTigers, a podcast all about the National Ice Hockey League, but one that always has an eye on the Telford Tigers. One thing and one thing only to discuss this week. That's right, playoff final weekend. The Final Four is taking place in Coventry. The final piece of silverware has been handed out and the season is over. So, with no further ado, let's get straight into it. Semi-final one saw the Leeds Knights take on the Swindon Wildcats. It was a bit of an opening salvo from Leeds, 4-0 up inside 10 minutes, and that kind of was good enough, really. Finished off 7-3 to Leeds, but all the damage done really early there to secure their place in the final. Who would they be taking on? Well, semi-final 2 saw Telford Tigers take on Peterborough Phantoms. This one was a bit closer. No opening 10-minute 4-goal salvos from either side. In fact, it finished 4-all, went to overtime, and the winning goal went to the Peterborough Phantoms. We'll return to that later on. So that set up a final between the Leeds Knights and the Peterborough Phantoms. This one was a very tight game throughout, I think it'd be fair to say. It finished 3-all. Overtime wasn't enough to separate the teams, so it took penalty shots, and the winning penalty shot was scored by the Peterborough Phantoms. So the Peterborough Phantoms collect the playoff trophy and the final piece of silverware of the season. Congratulations to all at the Peterborough Phantoms. I think it'd be safe to say that perhaps they weren't considered favourites to be winning it this weekend. But a really good result in overcoming both the Tigers and also Leeds Knights, in particular in the final. So yeah, big congratulations to all the Peterborough Phantoms for lifting the final piece of silverware of the season. As mentioned earlier, though, we'll return to the Telford game where they took on Peterborough Phantoms in the semi-final. And a bit of controversy, I think, is perhaps putting it mildly. So, as I say, it finished 4-all. Been a fairly tight game throughout. And then in overtime, Phantom scored, or did they? That is the real big question. Certainly, sort of the videos that are going around on social media seem to be suggesting, shall we say, that the puck hadn't crossed the line. And I think the reactions from the players on the ice certainly showed a lot. Tigers players just couldn't believe it had been given. And certainly initially, once it had been cleared away, there wasn't sort of much, I guess, asking or claiming a goal from the Phantoms. And as I say, the video footage that's going around on social media only seems to indicate that was also the case. I do think it does create a bit of a problem. I mean, ultimately, we've got playoff final weekend. It's arguably the biggest weekend of the season, showcase of the season, and a season-defining goal is given when it wasn't. Not blaming the officials on this. They've got to make a decision. They've got to stick with it. But it's not the only time that it happened. It happened as well in the final where, again, did Leeds' first goal cross the line? Again, from what I've seen on social media, perhaps not. It's a real difficult one for a showcase weekend to be potentially overshadowed, to be fair, by two goals being given that weren't actually goals. I mean, thankfully for Peterborough in the final, they had time to turn it around and, they went on to actually lift the trophy. But for Telford, it was in overtime. It ended not only the game, but their season right there. It's definitely something that needs to be looked at. It's Monday as I'm recording, so Tuesday as you're watching. It'll be interesting to see if any statements are released, offering, an apology, I guess, would be nice. I know it doesn't change it, but at least it would be a recognition of an incorrect call having been made. But also what steps are going to be taken to avoid it happening again. It was pretty amazing that, Peterborough had the call go for them, and then literally the following night, one go against them. The big aim has got to be that, if a goal gets given, it's definitely a goal, and it can be proved if needed. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the outcome, what the learnings are from this, and what impact it's going to have next season. So not blaming the officials, they made a mistake. It's really, where we go from here to make sure that seasons and matches and seasons aren't decided by incorrect calls, particularly if it can be proven sort of so quickly one way or the other. I think all teams in the National League have got streaming in place, so that would seem to sort of give some kind of an option. As I say, I haven't got the answers, just questions to be asking to avoid games being decided and even seasons being decided. So that's it for this week. Obviously, if you've got any comments, thoughts, anything like that around it, please get in contact. Leave me a comment, let me know. I'll be back next week where I'll be reviewing briefly the season for each of the teams. Bye for now.